I'll start off, just give you guys a brief rundown of what happened, and then I'll take any questions. Just for you, my name's Sergeant Mark Cleverdon, M-A-R-K, C-L-E-V-E-R-D-O-N. I'm the PIO with the Southwest Police Department. So around 8:43 this morning, we received a phone call of a shooting in the area of 105 Edwin Road. The call came in initially as one male had been shot, male victim with a gunshot wound. Later, when we arrived on scene, it was determined that another male sustained injuries as well. Just so you know, both parties are non-life-threatening injuries. Both were transported to Hartford Hospital, so they're currently being evaluated at this time. Prior to our arrival on scene, we received information that a singular suspect, had fled the scene. We were given a description of that vehicle and a possible direction to travel. That was broadcast out to other agencies. And Enfield Police Department had set themselves up off of 91 northbound. The information we had received was that the suspect was from Massachusetts, and he was likely headed back that direction. They were able to find the vehicle, identify it, get behind it, and they conducted a felony stop of that vehicle just over the Connecticut state line into Massachusetts, where they were able to take the suspect into custody without any incident. Our investigation, as you guys know, I know you hear this a lot, but it's still active. I will give out whatever information I can, and I'd be happy to take any questions at this time.
You said two victims. Are they both shot? Is the other both industries are?
So one victim had a confirmed gunshot wound. The other one, it's possible he got hit with either shrapnel or some fragmentations from the actual individual shooting. Did not appear to be an actual gunshot wound for the second individual.
Or yes. A target.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we'd like to, as of this point right now, the person who was shot was the likely target. It is an isolated incident. It was an isolated incident between two employees, but that information we're still trying to get as much as possible about the relationship, what exactly happened. We're still working on that.
So the suspect is an employee?
Yes. So 105 Edwin Road, I'm sure if you guys were down there, it's a industrial type condos. There's a lot of businesses, kind of no name fronts, but there was a business down there, and both of them were employees at one of the businesses there.
Can you tell us which business?
Say that again?
Which business, please?
So it doesn't have an actual name. 105 is the actual physical address. It's a logistical company. I believe they do outsourcing for FedEx and some other trucking companies. So not really active down there, but they're both employed by that agency. I don't have the name of the actual company.
This occurred outside the
Yes.
vehicle, not inside any building.
Yes, outside in the parking lot, correct.
Now, when he was arrested, this wasn't on 91, he had gotten off and...
No, we were actually on I-91. He pulled over to the side of the road and thankfully was taken into custody without incident. And, you know, a huge credit to Enfield Police Department. They did an excellent job. Mass State Police as well for listening and paying attention and making sure they brought him into custody. If they didn't kind of take action when they did, he probably would have made it back to Massachusetts, and we would likely still be looking for him, or might have went a different way. So we're very appreciative of that.
And just to clarify, Enfield Police was the arresting party there?
So the arresting party is the Massachusetts State Police. The actual physical arrest occurred over the state line. So he is currently being held in the Springfield Barracks of the Mass State Police, and he will likely be charged as a fugitive from justice, and then he would have to waive extradition to come back to face whatever charges. We're actively working on arrest warrants for him as we speak, and determining the appropriate charges based off what we know and how the two parties are doing at the hospital before we make a determination on what the actual charges are going to be.
Was there a pursuit involved on 91?
So I would say no, Mike, and the reason I'm going to say no is because they observed the vehicle, they got behind the vehicle from a safe distance, and then when they were in a good position to have as many officers as possible with them, they chose to stop the vehicle then stopped. And then listened to the commands and the instructions that the officers on scene gave them, and they were able to take him into custody safely. The weapon was also recovered at that time. So any evidence, the vehicle that he took, the weapon, anything else in the car, has all been taken to the State Police Barracks in Massachusetts, where our investigators will be working with their investigators to get search warrants and you know, kind of maintain that chain of custody on the evidence, and then we'll go from there.
What type of weapon?
Did he still have the gun on him?
The gun, yes, it was in the vehicle. Yes, yeah.
Is it a handgun?
It was a handgun, yes.
What was the relationship between the alleged shooter and the victim?
So we're still trying to figure that out. It was, like I said, it wasn't an isolated dispute between them. So we're still determining you
the
know,
manager or employee
yeah,
or coworker?
we're still looking at all that. We have officers at Hartford Hospital speaking with the victims, and investigators headed up to Massachusetts right now to conduct some interviews with Mass State Police. So.
So it does sound like this started as an argument, though. He didn't just walk in and shoot somebody.
Yes. Sounds like there was a verbal argument before the weapon got pulled, and then the shooting happened, and then he left the scene.
Do you have the suspect's name?
I do, but I'm not going to give it out at this time. We're still working on all that. And once I can, as you guys know, I'll get it out in a press release, Facebook and Twitter, and make sure you guys have whatever you need.
Are you at liberty to say where the shooting victim was shot?
So he was shot in the leg, and there was another bullet wound in his arm. We're still determining number of shots, and if one was maybe a ricochet or and the same bullet struck him twice. But again, non-life-threatening injuries. The last I heard, it's devastating.
Were there any businesses in the area that went into lockdown because of this morning?
You know, not particularly. It happened very rapidly when we were on scene very quickly. So I think by the time it was established, the people we had with injuries, and by the time we knew the suspect had fled, everything had kind of been resolved for the most part, since we had some specific information to respond to by the time we showed up and started investigating.
This suspect, do you know how long he's been an employee there, and have you had past issues with him?
No clue. No, not sure. And obviously our investigators are going to look into that and give whatever information they can.